Hello, welcome back to video. And after my horrible performance as Richard Nixon and the first part of this, we are back with 1960, this time as John F. Kennedy, or otherwise known as JFK. A senator since 1953 from a wealthy political family, possesses a youthful, telegenic appearance and has been a moderate senator and faces the challenge of winning over liberals who preferred other candidates. Furthermore, any stance, almost any stance that Kennedy takes on civil rights will alienate a key bloc of his party. One strategy to finesse these points and focus on the Cold War, Kennedy would be the first Catholic president. And as you know, that was actually a huge ordeal. So, as I mentioned the first time, this was the original one I was going to do, and then I was going to do the Nixon one. I was going to do this. I mentioned this in part one. Technical difficulties happened. Basically, I had already decided to go with Lyndon Johnson as a running mate. You have Stuart Symington, who would lose the South probably, and Hubert Humphrey, who would definitely lose the South, but would make the Northwest and a few other states. It would make the Northeast, a little more reasonable. But Johnson famously campaigned aggressively for Kennedy in the South, so we're going to go with that. Okay, here we go. What kind of tone? We need to go with moderates, right? Because we don't want to alienate any key base of the party, so we're going to go with moderation. This may be more accurate given your record. Let's see how it flies with the voting public this fall. What do you have to say about the selection of Lyndon Johnson as your running mate? Lyndon Johnson shares my political beliefs and will be my close partner in government for the next 4 years. He is a loyal Southerner and senator from Texas who will spare no effort to advance a Democratic agenda. Kennedy and Johnson did not like each other. They actually really hated each other, and it was rumored that Kennedy was going to get a new running mate. So, I'm going to go with this one and not Cher's political beliefs. There you go. Your words of support help as LBJ begins campaigning in the South. There we go. Yeah, this is what I was trying to get with the Okay, where do we want to begin? We have lots of space here. A lot of ground to make up as well. Nixon at 414 electoral votes. We're going to go with Georgia, I think. Do you believe that current levels of defense spending are adequate? We need the most moderate stance. So, for example, in the final analysis, every dollar spent on defense is taken from more productive uses within our economy. I don't think that will be a popular one. Let's go with we can always find areas for improvement. I think is the best bet. This won't hurt you too much, but does nothing to differentiate me from Nixon and Eisenhower. Okay. That's good. There was a recent effort in Congress to pass a program to provide medical care to elderly Americans, but it was narrowly defeated. Will you make a further push for this type of program as president? All right, so we need a moderate stance. So let's go with this slightly different program option. Looks like we're getting a lot of the same questions as we did with Nixon, so that's good. Also think it's funny that we have an Eisenhower quote at the top here. Change based on principle is progress. Constant change without principle becomes chaos. Anyway, we're going to go with I prefer a slightly different program. This is really more of a Republican idea, and it's not like old age health insurance is unpopular. Unpopular, sorry. All right. That helped us out a little bit. Let's go with... We could probably flip a couple of states. Let's go to Nevada. Are you satisfied with the economy and the economic policies of this country over the past 8 years? Eisenhower is very popular, so maybe we could try to lean into Eisenhower's popularity a little bit. We need more spending. We must do better. So, if we say I'd like to see a more conservative administration, okay, so if we go for the more conservative administration, we might completely lose our base. But at the same time, we could get Goldwater Republicans to come over. But Ike is extremely popular, so let's try not to ruffle too many feathers. So, we'll go with this one. As a challenger in this election, it doesn't make sense for you to praise Eisenhower's economic record. Okay, yep, that didn't help. Are we adequately prepared to defend? Cuba has been lost to the Soviet Union. He's an anti-communist, Kennedy is. So, we're going to go with that. And we'll see where we are now. Okay. We've made up a little bit of ground. Texas is competitive. Let's go to Mississippi. Do you believe that the United States is adequately prepared to defend against the Soviet threat over the next 10 years? We have a missile gap. We're going to go with that. Richard Nixon has made experience the centerpiece of his campaign. What do you have to say on this point? Nixon and I entered Congress in the same year, 1947, and have both served in the highest levels of government for some time. I question this premise. To be frank, it's still not clear to me exactly what role Nixon had in the Eisenhower administration or what policies of his have been implemented. Yeah, we'll go with that one. This may not be the right answer in the case of Nixon. It comes off as overly aggressive, and if 8 years as vice president is not enough experience, where does that leave you? Oh no, that might have sunk us. We're about at the same point. Let's go to Georgia, I think. I just realized, yeah, we're campaigning in the states that we actually have. Anti-Catholicism has been a huge part. It's been a huge issue thus far in the campaign, with hundreds of pamphlets and leaflets being distributed across the South and Midwest. Do you have any comment? Alright, so if you missed part one, Kennedy was a Catholic. He was our first Catholic president. And a lot of people are concerned he would be taking orders from the Pope. That's what this is about. Okay. Let's see, I will attack the idea that any good Protestant would vote against my candidacy because I happen to be Catholic. We can't be out there responding to every little 2-bit leaflet. Okay, I don't think this is the right response. Let's gather some of these leaflets and show them to the media and to major newspapers. I think they demonstrate the lengths that some people will go to discredit my candidacy. Man, what's the best one? I think this one. I will attack the idea. Let's go with gathering the leaflets. The impulse is noble, but you come across as a little petty as you awkwardly read from these leaflets at your latest press conference. Alright. Should the United States apologize to the Soviet Union for the controversy surrounding the drowned U-2 spy plane and surrounding espionage? Let's see where we're at in the polls. Let's see. Alright. Okay. So, Cold War hawkish pretty much everywhere, so. Okay. Alright. Yep. We're going to go with absolutely not. Man, we are not doing good. Okay, no, we actually want to let's see. Let's go California. Did Dwight Eisenhower do the right thing when he sent federal troops to Little Rock to ensure the integration of the high school there? We should have found a better way, I think is going to be the correct answer. This seems like a coded argument for segregation to some. Oh no, okay. Okay, with that line, that made me think maybe that opened up the South a little bit with that. For this time frame, there have been a large number of sit-ins recently where black students and activists are sitting at whites-only lunch counters in department stores to advocate for desegregation. Do you support this movement? Oh, man. Okay, so we need this. I think we need a moderate answer because with how poorly we're doing in the polls, we can't split the base, especially since we have Johnson as a running mate. So I think I know this is what I put down for Nixon, but I think this is the most moderate answer and is going to work the best for Kennedy. I support the civil rights movement, but I'm a little concerned about the disregard for the law that some of these activists have shown. Let's go with that. This is a safe answer that won't hurt you too much with anybody. Okay, yeah, that actually hurt us in the polls. We might be able to flip Texas. Let's try flipping Texas. Anti-Catholicism appears to be an issue. Okay, let's see. There we go. Yeah. A major speech. A televised speech, and then hopefully the issue ends. Let's go with that. Giving a speech was a good idea. Many people were impressed, and it provided good material for future advertisements. All right. There's been a proposal for a series of television debates between you and... Oh, wait. This is showing... Yeah, this is a typo. It says, because I'm running as Kennedy, but it says between you and Kennedy, meaning this is obviously running for Nixon. Is this something you're interested in? I would love to go against Nixon in a televised debate. Yeah, let's go with that, because obviously Kennedy won. You managed to come across as Nixon's equal in these debates, and that alone is a good start. Okay, we're back in this race. Let's try to flip Hawaii. Has the United States adequately defended the communist threat in Indochina? Would you support further action there if necessary? Okay, we're not going to say nukes. We're not going to say nukes. Yeah, we're going to go with, we need to make sure we don't overextend ourselves into new regions when the situation does not warrant it. I think it's a safe option. Let's go with actually we need to watch carefully. What is the position on the power of labor unions? I think this is the correct answer. It's a little egregious, with some of what you and Robert Kennedy have been doing recently in the area of investigating union abuses. Okay. All right. We're making Mississippi a little bit more competitive. Do you believe that the islands of Quemoy and Matsu should fall within the United States defense perimeter in Asia? Okay. So... yeah, let's go with it wouldn't be responsible of me to comment, because in the Nixon one, we know it says no one's really heard of this, so Nixon is questioning your hesitation on this issue. So effectively the same answer, except just swapping out the candidates. Okay. What is your opinion on the current level of education funding in the United States? Would you increase federal education funding even if it meant higher taxes or a larger budget deficit? Let's say we are going to strike a good balance. I'm not satisfied with how well teachers are paid in this country. Oh, wait. Okay, no, that means that they're getting paid too much. Okay. Education is a key front in our battle with communism, and that includes adequate pay and respect for our nation's teachers. I would support additional. That seems like a good moderate answer for Kennedy. It's a good answer. Should win you support from Democrats. Okay, this has helped out a lot. We are in the race. 225. And we flipped Texas. Okay, we are in the race. And barely losing California. Would you support the passage of a federal civil rights bill as president to address the worst excesses of segregation in the South? Okay. Let's see. We need to do anything we can to move our nation forward on this issue, including a civil rights bill and measures to protect voting rights. This would happen, and ironically, it would be Kennedy's vice president. I'm supportive of a civil rights bill, and we'll work with Congress to get one written and passed. This is something more appropriately addressed by individual states, though I will do anything I can to enforce the decisions of our Supreme Court. I think that is probably the most moderate answer, and we need to keep Kennedy very moderate here because we can't risk losing the South. Okay. Do you believe that Cuba has been lost to the communists as of this time? If so, do you think it's partially the fault of the United States? Yeah, let's go with it's too early to make a decision at this point. Okay, that, yeah, we lost some stuff there. Let's go with North Carolina, maybe. Okay, we've lost Texas. Let's go back to Texas. Do you support a minimum wage of $1.25 an hour, with some exceptions for small businesses? Such a measure was recently defeated in Congress. Okay. Well, let's go with this one. The current minimum wage is sufficient. The minimum wage is a necessary expedient, but we shouldn't be increasing it so much that would cause unemployment. This seems like a good, moderate answer. And remember, we need to keep Kennedy pretty moderate. I mean, maybe we could go big with some of the last questions, but let's stick moderate with this one. Let's put you at odds with many Democrat, and the minimum wage is popular as well. Okay, that's not good. Yeah, we need to take some big swings if we want to have any shot at winning. Okay. How serious at the current time do you believe the internal communist threat is? We should always be concerned about internal subversion, but the external Soviet threat should be our primary focus. The last thing we need to do is return to excesses and witch hunts in the early 1950s. It's unfortunate. Let's go with that. Let's go with it's unfortunate that we've become less vigilant. We're going to go with that. This argument seems stale after years of aggressive Soviet expansion combined with a minimum number of internal security leaks. All right. So that effectively puts us back where we were at the start. We need to take some big swings. Recently, Martin Luther King Jr. was arrested at a sit-in in Atlanta and has now been sentenced to 4 months in prison for failing to get a Georgia driver's license after moving to that state. Do you have any comment or action you would like to make? Let's make a public comment. Man, okay. If we go this way, we go full segregationist, which could lose us northern states. But if we go with this, I think the public comment might make the best one. It could make a little bit of a mark. So let's go with that. Lady Bird Johnson, LBJ's wife, has been spat on by a gathering of far-right protesters in a Dallas hotel lobby. What are your thoughts? I have no real comment to make. One ugly incident may not swing too many votes to your side, but any little bit helps late in a campaign. Okay, we've made up a little bit of ground, but we need to take I think we need a big swing. Here we go. West Virginia. We could probably get this one. We're on the final one. The South is the only place we've really got anything going. I'll tell you what, California and the West Coast. Let's do it. You have enthusiastic crowds wherever you go. Unfortunately, Eisenhower has also hit the trail for the final few days and is definitely helping Nixon. Good luck tonight. Yeah, I think I might have went a little too moderate on this. Because I was trying to help Kennedy out with moderate viewpoints, trying to keep the Democrats with him instead of going for Byrd, who really only got electoral votes as protests. So actually, in that regard, maybe I should have gone a little bit more into some of these and have Johnson be more of a moderate. That's my main thought, because I think I've lost this one. And I believe this was the last election in which Washington, D.C. did not count. Yeah, it looks like I've lost. Yep. So ironically, that means I've played a few rounds. Yep. Sorry, if you lost the election this time. Click OK to view the rest of the returns, or skip straight to the final results. Yeah, I'm going to skip to the final results. So I played this a few times by myself. Yeah, anyway, it was always... Sorry, you've lost the 1960 presidential election. It was always going to be tough to defeat the vice president to someone as popular as Eisenhower. However, you still have your seat in the Senate. At your young age, there's no reason you couldn't be a strong contender for president in 1964 and 1968, especially if this election was close. Let's just hope the Democrats don't blame your defeat on your religion. Oh, man, I got my butt kicked. Yeah, that was a blowout. Okay, so in real life, Kennedy won 303 electoral votes. In this, Kennedy won 64. Okay, well, yep. So ironically, that means the only time in these videos I've been successful with a campaign is when I tried to sink LBJ. Maybe I need to move out of the 1960s. Maybe I need to go to the turn of the century for the next one. But anyway, there you have it. Like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.